So, what is a seller's market and how does that affect you as a buyer? A seller's market, of course, is when there are a heck of a lot of buyers but not many homes for them to buy. I've experienced this myself with my own properties, as well as speaking to many other agents in the area who are all saying the same thing. There are multiple people coming through their properties. So I've heard and I've experienced up to 100 people or more coming through an inspection and then putting through offers. So a property can have 10, 20, 30, 40 offers on it. It is a frenzy out there right now, I'm not going to lie, but rest assured, people are buying homes. So there are people who are managing to buy their home. They're securing the transactions are happening. People are finding their next home. So let's talk about how we can make your offer stand out amongst the rest so that vendors or sellers are more enticed by your offer than someone else's. Let's talk about what we're seeing as some ways that people are moving forward with an offer to try and make their offer more attractive to a seller than the other 20 people who are putting in offers. First thing that I'm hearing a lot of is people foregoing to put in a condition for a building and pest inspection. Now, this is definitely something I wouldn't recommend. Personally, I wouldn't buy a house without a building and pest inspection. And the reason for that is because I want to know that the property that I'm buying is in the condition that I think that it is. For example, if I'm buying a renovator and I expect, I can walk into the house and I can see that the roof's falling down, then fine. But if I'm buying a home that I want to live in, and I have my budget and I'm pushing myself on that budget and I want to be able to just move into that house and start living there, I also want to know that there's no hidden surprises, that there's no issues with damp or issues with leaks in the roof or termites in the walls or whatever, which would potentially cost me anything from $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 or more to repair. I don't have that money. I don't have that budget. So you've really got to think about that. It is something you can take out of the contract, most definitely. Perhaps a way around it is if you have a builder or a chippy or someone in the trade who can walk through the home with you, or maybe you can actually ask your building inspector if he can come to the open home with you and just have a quick look. Now clearly, if they do this, there is no ramifications on them, okay? Normally a building inspector will do like a 200 point check. They'll put their report in writing and they have insurance to cover what they're telling you. So if they miss something in the report and it ends up costing you money, their insurance can be called upon for that. So it's not in writing. So you can't rely on it. But if you trust that person and you feel that they do know what they're doing and you feel comfortable with what they've said, then that might be a way around it. It might be a way of making sure that you still get a bit of an inspection. Of course, it won't be anything like what you would normally get, but you could get an inspection in some degree that might just allay your fears and make you feel more comfortable. So if you can do that, organise your building inspector or friend, pest inspector, whatever, to come with you on an inspection. Now, if you can do a private inspection, that'd be great, but otherwise on a walkthrough, so the open home. Right now there's going to be a lot of people doing the walkthrough on the open home, so try and be a little bit discreet, but yeah, get that information from the building inspector to see whether or not the home stacks up to what you think. Another thing that I'm seeing is people they're stretching their budget. Okay, so they have a budget in mind, they've been to the bank says, okay, based on your income, they've got pre-approval, written pre-approval. So they say, okay, based on your income, for example, you can buy a house up to $500,000, for example. Because there's so many other people there, you just fall in love with this home, you want to pay more. And you think, okay, yep, I've got a little bit of extra money, I want to go up to $550,000. Now, that might get you across the line. It might mean that you have beaten all the other buyers and you've bought the property, which is great for you. However, you are borrowing money to buy that house. And unless you have some extra cash in your bank account or access via a friend or someone who can come forward with the difference, you potentially can be stuck, because if the bank's valuation doesn't come up to the purchase price, you then have to come up with the difference. And do you have $50,000 in your back pocket? I know I wouldn't. So again, it's one of those things, you have to make your own choice as to whether or not you go ahead and make an offer that's not subject to finance when you know that you need finance. So please be careful with that. Obviously, yes, it will put your offer ahead of other buyers potentially, but it might not be the best thing for you. So that is something that you really do need to consider. Being flexible with your settlement. A seller will definitely have an idea in mind of when they want to be out of the house, which is called settlement. Now, they may have bought something else themselves, or they may have, a job that they have to go to, or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons why a seller wants a particular settlement date. These days, it might just be that they want a longer settlement date because they haven't found anywhere themselves, and they'd rather sell their home before they buy something else, which frankly is a very good thing to do. So they might want a particular settlement date. So if you can be flexible on that and meet the settlement date that they're asking for, again, that's going to put you at an advantage above other buyers who might have a specific date that they're working towards, but it doesn't match what the seller is. For example, the seller might want 60 days and a buyer might want 120 days. So be very, very flexible with that if you can. Again, if you want to buy the property and you want to set yourself apart, if the settlement date that the seller wants doesn't match what you would ideally give, go and stay in a caravan park or stay with friends or do something like that, okay? Obviously that's assuming you haven't got a house to sell yourself. So that is certainly another factor to keep in mind. If you're selling your home to buy a home, please sell your home first. I know it's that catch-22, do I buy before I sell or do I sell before I buy? Quite frankly, right now with the market the way it is, if you have sold your home, you know how much money you're getting, you know what your settlement is, you know how much deposit you've got and how much you can borrow, you are in a far stronger negotiating field than someone who has not yet sold their home. So sell first. I do believe that. And right now with the market the way that it is, if you are in that situation where you're selling and then buying, it's probably not going to take very long for you to sell your home. So you will have time. A long settlement in that instance is good for you if you're selling, to give you time to find something else. But that will put you in a strong position if you're negotiating to purchase a property. If you are, like me, one of those people who would really not want to forego the building and pest inspection, then stick to your guns, because at the end of the day, it's your purchase, it's your next home, and you need to be comfortable with the offer that you put forward. So I hope these tips help. There is hope, there's always hope, there are properties selling, honestly, there are properties selling. Just keep at it, keep looking at properties, keep putting in offers and make them as attractive as you possibly can. Keep in touch with agents, ring agents every week, okay? Because every week they will be getting new listings and you want to be on the front foot. You want them to remember, okay, I've just listed XYZ house, and you want them to think of you first, not all the other buyers, because it's the buyer who keeps in touch with them the most who is going to be thought of instantly when they list a new property. So definitely keep in touch with your agent and make sure that you troll, obviously, the internet all the time. Read the paper. Some agents are still advertising in the paper, so check the paper and make sure that you're on all the agents' database. That magical thing we say, yes, you're on the database, we'll go to the database first. The database is buyers. It's a list of buyers who are currently looking for a home. Make sure you're on as many lists as you possibly can be to help you secure your next home. So I hope this helps. Happy house hunting. If you have any questions, just give me a bell. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel, Click on the bell so that you receive notifications every time we upload a new video. So thank you for watching and see you soon.